Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to be getting glammed. I'm going to be using a lot of the new products that I have been loving lately. A lot of them are a little bit on the bougie side. I apologize, but I did take advantage of the Sephora sale, which is still going on right now, to purchase a lot of the higher priced items that never go on sale that I've had my eye on for a while. And it turns out I love majority of them, so that is what we're going to be using in today's video. The Sephora sale is still going on until the 24th, I believe, so if you're interested in anything I talk about in today's video, please check out the list of products down below in the description box. Whenever you shop from my links down there, you are helping out my channel. Now, I did do the boring stuff without you. For example, as you can see, I filled in my brows and my hair is super straight at the moment. I use my T3 Lucia ID flat iron, which is my favorite thing in the whole wide world because I get my hair fully flat in like 15 minutes max. I feel like it might have even been quicker than that, but the hair nice and flat, and I made it all shiny with my Verb Ghost oil. Besides that, because I didn't wash my hair last night, I just had air dried hair for a day and a half. Like, I washed my hair, I let it air dry, and that was like 2 nights ago, right? So just right here on the top, just in case it was a bit greasy or anything, I put the Olaplex number 4D dry shampoo thing, and that just made sure that things up here did not look greasy or anything like that. Besides that, if you see any like blotchy spots like right here, is because since I restocked on my little blades, I took away all of my peach fuzz this morning. So my face feels super smooth, but I do have very sensitive skin, so I irritated it in some little spots. Lastly, after I took care of the peach fuzz, I did moisturize with my Dr. Jart Ceramide cream because I knew my face would be sensitive, and so I didn't want to put anything harsh on it. And that is literally the reason that I bought this during the sale, so that I have a good moisturizer to put on whenever my face is sensitive, that is not going to irritate things further. So I am moisturized, the brows are on, the hair is done and pulled back, and we are going to get started with the rest of the products. I totally forgot to mention that at some point throughout today's video, we're going to be comparing the new Pat McGrath eyeshadow quad, which I absolutely loved, with the new Pat McGrath mini, both of which are of course available at Sephora, both of which I really loved and recommended. And so we're going to be comparing the two so you can see the shades differences between them. I got a request from someone in one of my comments to do this, and I think it's a great idea, so we'll do that later. I'm very excited to have my Tatcha, the Liquid Silk Canvas Primer, back in my collection. So this is what I'm going to be using as my primer today. This just fills in my pores and it doesn't make my face oily or matte. It just kind of keeps it with a natural finish to it, which I really like. And then of course I love the fact that the pores look diminished, right? This is one of those products that I really like to buy when it goes on sale because it isn't an inexpensive primer, but I do love to have it in my collection. So I feel much better about buying it with a percentage off for sure. Primers applied, you can see how my face isn't like overly glowy or greasy or anything like that, but it also is not matte. And then my pores do look nice and diminished, especially right here next to my nose area, which is where I first applied it. So as I was saying, I really like that about it. For foundation, I'm going to be using my new Glam Terracotta Le Tint foundation. I cannot express to you how much I love this one. It is an incredible foundation. It looks beautiful on my dry skin, and I got the color 2N, which is a perfect shade for me. I was debating between this one and my new Valentino foundation, which I've also been loving, but this one honestly impressed me when I first tried it, and the match of it is better on my skin than my match to the Valentino foundation, because the Valentino one is a bit too light for me and I still have to go and exchange it. The weird thing is I bought this Glam foundation online and I bought the Valentino one in store, so I did that to myself. And by the way, I'm applying it with the new REPHR sponge, the one that they're selling for only $2 on the REPHR website. I really love this sponge because it doesn't soak up your product. I did only 3 pumps of this very thin foundation from Glam on my face, and everything is covered and everything is very evenly distributed, and it's definitely a combination of both of these products. Anyways, take a look at how this foundation looks on my skin, because it is glorious, if I do say so myself. I absolutely love how naturally glowy this one looks without accentuating any of my pores or anything like that. It is such a beautiful foundation. I have yet to find something negative to say about it. Plus, it wore so beautifully the other day when I had it on for a lot of hours. I loved it. I'm going to apply a little bit of my color corrector. This one is the one from Charlotte with my REPHR number 36 brush, and I'm just going to tap it right here on the innermost corner of the eye and right under, just to correct some of the purpley hues that I have around that area so that the concealer has an easier job at covering everything. And for concealer, another product I tried recently that worked so wonderfully under my eyes, this Givenchy Prisme Libre concealer here. I got it in the shade W110. This one has a nice thick applicator. And I'm going to add it to the innermost corner of the eye and just extend it back here. So from the inner corner, just drag it down and in a bit, and then back here. I'm also going to do a bit right in the center of my forehead and down the bridge of my nose. So with my sponge, I'm going to start by blending out my chin and then the forehead area. I've been doing a thick sort of concealer application right here on the top of the bridge of my nose, because it makes my nose look a bit wider right there where my nose looks kind of narrow, and so that's kind of like the beginning of my nose shaping process. Not that I'm the best at doing my nose, but I do feel like that helps. Time to blend out the concealer under the eyes, and I'm just blending it in with the sponge, and with whatever's left we're doing the eyelid area. I really love the coverage, the finish, and the brightness of that Givenchy concealer, and it blends beautifully into the Glam foundation, as you can see. So loving everything so far. Okay, this next thing isn't necessarily a product I've been loving, more so a product that is new to me and that I need to try, and that is this nose contouring brush from Patrick Ta Beauty. I got this one in my last Sephora haul, and I promised you guys I would try it in the next video, so that's what we're going to do today. And I'm going to use it with my Westman Atelier contouring stick in the shade Biscuit. So I'm going to get this pointier part of the brush here and rub it in the tip, and then I'm going to go right underneath my brow and drag on the side of my nose and bring it in right here in the center. Bear with me because this is my first time trying this one, so we'll see. And then I'm going to grab some more product and I'm going to go underneath the tip of my nose. This is definitely much more precision I've ever had when it comes to contouring my nose, because I have never had a brush like this. And I feel like it helps a lot, especially coming off of the brow right here through the side. I really liked how easy it looked to blend it there. Now that I did that, let's go ahead and blend things out with the fluffy side. I think that's what you're supposed to do, so I'm doing it. Just blending out the sides. I feel like the main issue with me telling you my opinion on this one is that I don't really have another nose contouring brush to compare it to. This is the first time I ever get a nose contouring brush, but I feel like that looks really good. And it was really easy to control the tracing of the contour with this side. This is definitely my favorite side, and this one just did a really good job at blending things out. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. With whatever's left on my sponge, I'm making sure things didn't get dragged too far down. And since I pulled out this product and just remembered how much I love it, I'm going to use this one to contour the rest of my face as well. Westman Atelier is another brand that is kind of hard to get on sale, and it's pretty pricey, so I would recommend, if you are interested in any Westman Atelier products, to go for them right now as well. To blend things out, I'm going in with my Sephora collection number 56 brush. This is technically a foundation brush, but it's so nice and precise to blend out any like contour products or anything like that. I love it. Moving on to the forehead, and I'm just blending things into my hairline and the jaw. I really love the way that came out. Here's my face fully contoured. I haven't even bronzed yet, but here's what we're looking like so far. And it's time for what's been my favorite step lately, just because I've never felt this strongly about a powder. I'm going to powder my face with the Givenchy Prisme Libre powder. I got this one in the shade 03, which is the pink one, and I need to thank Britt Clark a million times for recommending this powder, because it is my newest and latest obsession if you have dry skin. I just have never tried a powder this good, and it doesn't matter if you don't have dry skin actually. It's just the thinnest powder ever. I'm pretty sure this is going to work on absolutely everyone, and it looks so natural on the face. It is unbelievable, okay? Highly, highly recommended. I absolutely love the way this looks on the face, and I cannot wait to put it on right now. So with this powder and my REPHR number 18, hold on, I grabbed too much. I'm going to start right underneath my eyes here, and I'm going to pat this powder in place. Just take a look at how bright that looks. If you have oily or combination skin, maybe you want to do a bit more powder than I usually go for, but I'm dry as a desert, so I usually try not to do a lot of powder. But take a look right here at how good that looks underneath my eye. Compare with powder, without powder. I know, it's magical. Moving on to this side, patting that powder in place with my REPHR number 18 brush. Just pat it, and it blurs everything out so nicely. Center of the forehead next, and to the sides. This powder does definitely have a scent to it, by the way. The first time I tried it, I wasn't really paying attention, but it does definitely have a scent. It doesn't bother me though. It smells kind of delicate to me, so I don't mind it. Take a look at my face after the powder was applied all throughout the center. What pores? Where? The pores are banished from my face. Absolutely love the way this looks. For bronzer, I want to use my new Pat McGrath bronzer in the shade Naked Desire. This is, believe it or not, the lightest shade of bronzer Pat McGrath made, which at first I thought was going to be a bit too light for me, but it turns out this is the one I like the best. This is my first time applying it on top of a contour product, and I feel like this combination is going to be magical, because this bronzer isn't necessarily cool toned, but I already have a cool toned contour product applied to my face, so I feel like this is just going to tie it all together. Back with that Patrick Ta brush, I'm adding a bit of bronzer on top of the contour on my nose. Alright, the Pat McGrath bronzer was fully applied, and I am loving the way it looked on top of my contour stick from Westman Atelier. Next, I'm going to do some blush. This is Gucci in the shade Radiant Pink. I'm going to apply it with my REPHR number 5. And I'm going to start back here close to the under eye area and blend it from there. I think Gucci blushes have an exceptionally beautiful formula because they have almost a satin finish to them that looks so natural on the skin. They blend very easily. You can build them up if you want to. And they make your skin feel like silk, which I absolutely love. As the last step on my cheeks, I'm going to do some highlighter today. I'm going to use my Westman Atelier highlighter in the shade Peau de Rose right here, and I'm going to just apply this one with my finger. So I'm just going to tap it here on the highest point of my cheekbone and blend it in place. This one has some sparkles in it, but even though it's got some sparkles, I don't feel like it enhances texture, and that's why I like it. I actually think I want to try it with the sponge as well, just to see how it applies with the sponge. Just as beautiful, honestly. I like it with the sponge as well. My complexion is done, so time to swatch both of these side by side to compare the shades, and then I'll probably do my eyes with one of them. Alright, so these swatches right here are from the Pat McGrath Luxe Quad in Venusian Sunrise. As you can see, really beautiful and smooth, and it's got this really stunning sparkly shade right there, which I loved. This mini one is for sure not going to have nearly as much sparkle in there, but I wanted to still compare the shades that might maybe look similar to one another, so we'll see. Alright, so here's the mini one swatch underneath. I put the shades that might look similar together. As you can see, these two right here are pretty similar, the highlighter shade, but when it comes to the mattes, I think they are pretty different. The undertones in all of the mattes are different. The mini palette has warmer undertones overall in it, I think. And then when it comes to the gold shades, these right here are just a shimmer shade versus this one, which is nice and sparkly and it catches the light a lot more. So that is the difference between the two. I still love the mini palette though, because it is like half the price or less than half the price of the quad, and you can take it with you when you go traveling, and the formulas of the shades in here are amazing. However, as far as like a very glamorous look is concerned, obviously the one with the sparklier shade I think is going to give you a bit more of that glam. So I really hope that this was helpful, and let's go ahead and create a look with the Venusian Sunrise quad. I wasn't sure what to do, so I did it off camera, and this is the look that we're going to be recreating over on this eye. So like I said, we're using the quad, and the first thing I'm going to do is with my REPHR number 15 brush, which is my big fluffy brush, I'm going to go into my transition color right here, and I'm going to start by tapping this color right on the outer corner of my eyelid, just tapping it in place right there. And then with the tip of my brush, I am slowly going to bring it up to the crease area of my eye, just doing little circles, little back and forth motions, still keeping the shade exactly where I want it. I'm going to go back for a little bit more and just intensify the shade right back here and bring it up still, but a little bit less than before. I'm going to do a very similar thing with that same brush right here on the inner third of my eyelid, bringing it up to the crease. I'm not going through the center of my eyelid yet, just keeping it in place right on the inner third of my eyelid. Now with whatever's left on my brush, which is barely anything, I'm just going to very lightly tie the two sides together. Switching to my REPHR number 1 brush, which is a thinner blending brush, I'm going to grab a bit of this dark shade back here. And I'm going to start building it on the outer third of my eyelid once again, blending it in place back here. And then with the tip of my brush, slowly bring it up to the crease area, but not as high as we did the other one. Just keeping it in place right there. A bit more of that same shade, and we are doing the same thing on the inner third of my eyelid, just blending it up ever so slightly. And if you need to go back with your REPHR number 15 and blend any edges you might have behind. I wanted a big flat brush, so this one here is my REPHR number 33, and I'm going to grab the lightest shade in the palette here, and I'm going to, starting in the center of my eyelid, just tap it and blend it upwards, just like this. Blending it into the matte shades a bit, and then with that same brush, I feel like this one just made the process a lot quicker. I'm going to grab my shimmer shade, and then I'm going to pat it right on top. Ooh, I might have done a bit too much, we'll see. Just patting it on top. On my under eye, I'm going to use my Pillow Talk eyeliner from Charlotte Tilbury, just to intensify things right here. And I'm going to mimic everything I did on top underneath the eye. So with the REPHR number 3, I'm going to smudge a bit of the darkest matte shade on the outer corner and also right underneath my tear duct area here. With my REPHR number 28, I'm going to grab a bit of the lightest shade, and I'm going to put it right in the middle of the under eye, and then a bit of the sparkly one and just press it on top. And with the REPHR number 13 and the transition color, we are going to smoke it all out down here. Lastly, my REPHR number 26 and the lightest color, just to finish it up with the bright inner corner. I'm going to curl my lashes with my REPHR lash curler. And for mascara, I'm using the YSL Lash Clash mascara, but I'm also going to be doing some falsies because we are going for Glamorous today. Mascara and lashes on, I went for Velour Effortless Lashes in Understated. Here's what they look like. I have a discount code with Velour, which I always link in all of my videos if you're interested. And I don't have a new lip liner to show you that I'm obsessed with, because the only lip liner I've tried very, very recently is the Too Faced Lip Injections lip liner. And that one hurt my lips, not a huge fan of it, so I'm going to use the Anastasia lip liner in the shade Rosewood today. Here's what that looks like, and I'm going to combine it with this new NARS lipstick in the shade Devotion that I really, really loved. Check me out. I'm not going for a light nude today. We're going for a little bit of color on the lips. Ooh, that looks so good. That looks so, so good. Setting everything with the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. And to finish things up, I'm going to put on my Versace Dylan Purple fragrance that I have been loving. This has a fruity floral scent that is so nice and so sweet and almost a little bit fresh as well. It's delicious. It smells so good and it lasts for quite a while as well. So this is it. Here is my glam look for today, using a bunch of new products that I have been loving lately and some others that are just kind of staples in my collection that you guys know I love. It is so nice when you do your makeup with the products that work best for you, because you feel like a big deal the whole day, and that's how I feel right now. So as I said at the beginning, if you're interested in anything I tried in today's video, everything is listed and linked for you down below in the description box. If you liked today's video, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up. Before you leave, if you're new to my channel, please don't leave without subscribing. I love you guys so, so much. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye.